Over to you, Saber.
All right, thank you guys for joining, and I hope that was useful for you. There are roughly a couple dozen questions asked and answered on the Q&A. Those are good references for everyone. Is there anyone who has any additional questions that we can answer live? Otherwise, I can go through the most frequently asked questions. Mostly the number one question that we got is, will the recording be available? Yes, we will make it available on our website, at least links to it. I think those will be stored in our YouTube channel for KSL.
One addition, Saber. It depends on the size of the recording. We will see. It's a two-hour thing. So even if we can compress it, definitely on website. Otherwise, we'll definitely send it in an email as a link.
Yeah, exactly. So that's, but all the slides and the material will be posted in our website, hpc.gov.edu.sa/ibex. The other question for those who missed to register for one-to-one sessions, you could send to us either through the support channels or maybe preferably on training@hpc.gov.edu.sa. That's one of the questions that was asked as well. Large jobs, scalable jobs are preferably running on Shaheen. For two reasons. One is you will get the best performance. Second is you will have better waiting time, as Shaheen is designed for those workloads. Ibex is more designed for high throughput. So when you have tons of jobs but small core counts each, those are the most suited for Ibex. However, in some situation you couldn't run on Shaheen, then your only chance is to run on Ibex. We could work with you on those cases. All right. Any more questions on the Q&A or even on the chat? You can type it. Yeah, a lot of references are in the website. Job generator, JavaScript generator is in the website. We have our training, including the ANSYS coming up soon. That is more recommended on Shaheen, and all our slides will be posted. We have a summary cheat sheets for the Slurm as well as for the usage of Ibex. You could find them on our website. Those would be ideal if you print them out, put them on your desk. Whenever you need something, you will find it. 90% of the time, you'll find what you need there. Good. One more open new question. Is there a way to find the job time limit from SQ? What's exactly the format ID pass to minus format option? Mohsen or anyone want to take this question? Let me read it again.
So when you type SQ minus U user or minus J job ID, the estimated end time, and the total time asked for and the elapsed time are both reported. If that's what you're after, that is by default. You don't have to reformat the SQ line.
All right. So I'm happy that it take this time. So I will post the email again. Again, questions for the 101 session, training@hpc.gov.edu.sa. yes, you don't have to do the SQ for one job ID at a time. If you do -u username, you will get all your jobs details. Yeah, you don't specify the, if you don't specify the job ID, just use SQ -u username. You would get all you need. And if you want to play with the format, Naga put you some options there. Okay, I work with very large data set. What is the key parameter I should modify in the script to speed the jobs? It's a very application dependent and data set dependent. So it depends on the application first. If it is an MPI application that is scalable, then you probably better use more and more computational power. So if you're using 4 cores, probably go to 40 cores on a single node. If that's not sufficient and you have MPI, you could go multiple nodes. But if it gets significantly higher than what Ibex can accommodate on a reasonable time, then you probably should go to Shaheen. For the very large data set, we recommend that you use the BGFS file system, parallel file system, for improving your IO, or even fast scratch if needs be. You could request an allocation on fast scratch by an email sent by your PI. On BGFS, there are also few parameters we could tweak. So contact us on help@hpc.gov.edu.sa, and then we can give you some hints on how to improve. But we need to check first, what is the bottleneck there? I mean, if it is your IO, the reading and writing of the files, or the compute part. So then we need to optimize that portion of the code. In the beginning, you mentioned that Scratch might be decommissioned soon. Should we be concerned about that just yet? No, you shouldn't be concerned. The Scratch that I was mentioning that will be decommissioned is the old one. And we will be contacting all users to migrate the data gradually to the new Scratch. So yeah, you shouldn't be concerned. You will be communicated, and you will have your data migrated to the newer ones. But if you want to start migrating, you could try slowly to migrate to the BGFS parallel file system. You want to add something, Naga, or anyone?
No, Sabar. That's the reason I'm actually moved. It's actually answered online.
Yep. Again, the link for the one-to-one sessions. This is getting very. The email is in the chat. Let me add it to the answer here. Yeah. I hope we will have enough people to answer all your questions and one-on-one sessions, because yeah, but we'll take it step by step, and we'll try to accommodate as many as possible within the next few days. Glad you like it. We will have, thanks for the nice comment. And we're happy that you liked the session. Please, we will send out a survey. Please feel free to put your comments, any suggestion for improvements and whatnot. That will help us to tune and provide even better resources for you guys in the future from training perspective. Thank you. So I guess most of the attendees are start leaving. Any last question? Otherwise, we could close the session with that. Okay, a question coming up.
Another one.
So if a job reaches its time limit, it will get killed immediately at that time. I noticed it might be killed at a time longer than the request time.
Yes, there is a grace period.
Oh, there is, okay.
Yes,
I'm not
there is
aware
a
of
grace
that.
period on Ibex. I don't think it's 1 hour. Ahmed,
It is, I think, 30 minutes. 30
30
minutes of
minutes.
grace
Okay.
period. So
Okay.
like any one of the job is expected to, any one of the job is not completed on time. I actually specified in my presentation the extension channel.
Yep.
The user can actually send the job ID. One of our system team will extend the job based
Yes.
on your request.
So
So,
Ahmed confirms that it is 1 hour.
oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Earlier
It
it
is
was
1
30
hour.
minutes.
Yeah, grace period is 1 hour.
1
Earlier
hour.
it was actually 30 minutes. Yeah, 1 hour. Yeah, good.
Okay.
However, you can request an extension. Extension is also limited to some extent. All right.
So Naga, you want to clarify
Yeah.
Oh,
the last one?
I
Yeah,
think the
the
user
last
is
one.
confused between Slurm and login node. I think the question is
Yeah,
about
exactly.
login.
Because of the login node is mainly used for not to run any of the job on the login node. That's the only concern we actually raised. Say for example, if you are actually running any of the job on login node, um, other user may not possible to log in, or the productivity become very slow because you are running the job on the login node, which is not actually allowed. That's the only our concern. That is not actually a good practice. So when you are actually wanted to experiment with interactive session, you are feel free to actually allocate the node using SLOC or SRun. Based on that, you can run the job on the allocated node. So please don't run any jobs on the login node. That is the good and best practices I was actually describing in the first presentation slide. Oh, login node is the one when you are actually login to Ibex. It's either it may be iLogin node or glogin node. These two different set of nodes actually available in Ibex. iLogin node is mainly meant for CPU node. Glogin node is mainly meant for GPU node. So login node is basically ilogin.ibex.cows.edu.sa is the login node for CPUs. glogin.ibex.cows.edu.sa is for GPU node. I mean GPU login node.
And I think the user is the first time encountered with HPC. So basically login nodes is when you type your SSH and you start connecting to us, to Ibex, that's what we call the login node. And the login node is a server basically where you have your environment and where you can see the software available and you start preparing all your work and scripts and data there. Once everything is ready to do processing, then you submit jobs using Slurm to the processing or what we call compute nodes. And compute nodes could be, as like I mentioned, either the CPU or GPU, and then you use iLogin or glogin respectively.
Yeah, thanks, Sabir. So maybe we can actually ask the user on some one-on-one session to give some demo or some explanation more for the requirement.
The next question is, do you mean do not run GPU nodes? I think he meant jobs in iLogin nodes. That's correct. So if you add on iLogin, you submit CPU jobs because you will have the CPU software environment. And if you want to run on the GPUs jobs, if you have a GPU jobs, then you need to submit it and prepare it from glogin. Yeah, correct. And it's live. All right. Good Q&A session. People are getting answers and leaving. That's all right. But if there are still people hanging in there and they have few more questions, we'll be happy to answer them. Keep for a few minutes. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the session. Yeah, that's easy question. You have an iLogin node. You mean you logged into the iLogin, I guess. So if you are on iLogin and you want to change to glogin, yes, you could do that by just SSHing. And if you are in our name domain DNS, which means in Ibex already, you don't have to type the whole thing. So SSHD login from iLogin will just get you there immediately.
I've just posted here that answer.
No, your account is the same for glogin and iLogin. Yeah. Yeah. It's one account. And actually accounts works for everything. Once you have an account, that's an account for Ibex, all kind of compute capabilities. That's the same credentials if you are using data warehouse for storage. It's the same credential if you request and get an account on Shaheen. It's the same always login and password that you use for all the infrastructures, which is the same for Portal and webmail, actually, for those from Kaust. Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. Moreover, password is not managed by us. Password is managed by Kaust IT.
Yeah, exactly, Naga. And that's why we refer to IT in some of the emails on some of the slides when there are some issues with password and reset and stuff like that. So those are referred to IT, not KSL.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, we thank you all, guys, for all the questions and the interest, whomever is remaining. I think pretty much everyone got his question answered. And those who have interest in the one-on-one sessions, we got a lot of requests. We will try to accommodate them within the next few days or even weeks if need be. And we will be in touch through the support channel with RT ticketing, using raising tickets at help@hpc.cast.edu.sa or on the Slack channel for quick inquiries. So that's all for this session. Thank you all. Thanks, Mohsen, for moderating all the session and
Pleasure.
preparation, and all the team for the contributions and the attendees, and have a good one.
See you. Bye-bye.